The Texas Ballet Theater is kicking off its season with a magical new production, Peter Pan, choreographed by internationally acclaimed dancer Trey McIntyre. And this version of Peter Pan is set to bring awe and joy and wonder to audiences of all ages. And Trey actually joins us today to share more about the creative process, the inspiration behind this ballet, and what audiences can expect when it takes the stage. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Erin. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. So Peter Pan, it is such a beloved story. I mean, I think everybody knows it. It's almost like a generational stepping stone, right? And so what inspired you to want to bring this tale to the ballet stage?
Well, it was originally a commission for Houston Ballet, which was the company that I used to dance with. And it was commissioned by Ben Stevenson, who was my director in Houston at the time, who then became the director of Texas Ballet Theater. And so, you know, I was so steeped in the tradition of storytelling. And so it was a natch for me as a choreographer to extend that and to create a full-length work. And I think it's one of the most exciting kind of fairy tales in the canon that we get to choose from.
Yeah.
I've always been a creative person since I was a little kid, and so I've always been drawn to the more kind of, I guess, more maybe fantastical stories, and so I think it was a natch for me to choreograph to this one.
I love that. I love that. Just because you can kind of submerge yourself in this story, it's almost like taking yourself to a whole other world, right?
For sure, and this ballet in particular is based on the original J.M. Barrie book. I intentionally didn't refer to the Disney version or, you know, the things we've seen before, because I feel like as an artist, if I don't have something to add, something new to say, then why do it
in the first place?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Emma Bailey's set and costume designs, I mean, they look absolutely stunning. And so how did you choreograph around these sets and make her visuals kind of work in the world that you're putting together in your head?
They really are remarkable. It's such a special production. Well, this is the second time this production has been designed, so in a certain way, it's like making a second pancake, if you will. You know, we got to revisit all the things from before and improve on them. So it was a real collaboration with Emma in creating these things together, making sure that everything would integrate with the choreography rather than something we kind of slap on in the end.
Exactly. You don't want to just throw it together. You want it to be well thought out. Now, you know that because this isn't your first time choreographing Peter Pan even, and you did a premiered 3-act version in Houston, right?
Yes,
Back in 2002?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so what are you bringing different to this than you were back in 2002?
Well, the world has changed a little bit since 2002, and I think attention spans are a little bit shorter. So this is a more streamlined version, and it's very story forward. Now it zips along. And I'm a different choreographer now too. It's like you can't unlearn things that you know. So I think the production has only grown and gotten more interesting and more exciting.
Can I ask you, what does it make you feel? Because I remember you saying at the beginning of this interview that you used to dance in Houston and now you're here choreographing. I mean, it's a full circle moment for you, it almost feels like, especially with this specific show. Indeed. What does it mean to you to actually take that dream, right? Because tons of us have dreams as young people, right? Yeah. But to expand it and grow it and evolve it into a whole career, your adulthood. I mean, what's that like?
It is a remarkable opportunity to get to do what I do. And I will add in a certain way, Tim O'Keefe, who's now the artistic director of Texas Ballet Theater, he was the original Captain Hook in the original production.
Wow.
So there's a certain kind of coming home about it as well. But you know, in a certain way, Peter Pan is the metaphor of what being an artist is, which is to constantly tap into that limitless idea that we had when we were kids, which is anything is possible, and we don't have the confines of being an adult and having responsibilities and having to take care of other people. And so it's been great to get to live that life and to continue to dream into my adulthood. I feel very fortunate.
And that's the transition, right, from childhood to adulthood. I think that's almost the story plot of Peter Pan as well. Tell me, because obviously adults are going to be taking their kids to this show. What do you hope adults take away from it?
Well, it really is a production for the whole family. And I think, you know, one thing that we all have in common is that we were kids once. And even though we take on these responsibilities, there's still this child part of us that lives in all of us. So I think we go to see the theater because it wakes that part of ourselves up and continues to inspire us and helps us to believe in magic again in the way that we did as youngsters.
Well, you know what? I think we're all excited for a little bit of magic.
Great.
Thank you so much for being here this morning, expanding upon your creative process. And if you at home are ready to catch Texas Ballet Theater's Peter Pan at the Winsphere Opera House in Dallas from September 19th through the 21st, so you guys have time to put it on your calendar and get tickets at Bass Performance Hall in Fort Worth from October 3rd to October 5th. And for tickets and for information, just go to texasballettheater.org.